This is Dr. Krista Burns, and I'm so excited to be coming at you today with a very special interview. We're actually in Milan, Italy, at the Forum of Excellence, a business seminar here in Milan. And I have the pleasure of speaking with the beautiful, fabulous Miss Crystal Dwyer Hansen. And Miss Crystal Dwyer Hansen is she has done so many incredible things. She's a wonderful womanpreneur and an inspiration to all of us. She's a lifestyle coach and wellness coach, and I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about the things that she has done.
Well, thank you, Krista. That was a wonderful introduction. I appreciate it. Like you said, I'm a lifestyle coach, wellness coach, certified in life coaching. Also, I'm certified with the American Board of Hypnotherapy in hypnotherapy. It's just a tool that I use. I also use emotional freedom technique, and I'm certified with the Chopra Center of Wellbeing in meditation and Ayurvedic. So I used to actually be in the real estate world, and I just found that I loved helping people, and that I could help people find a quick path to their resolution. So when I started my business, my coaching practice, I didn't have any clients. And that's where everybody starts, whether you're a chiropractor or whatever you're doing. So I think the most important thing to remember is don't think you're going to run out there and just get big. I think it's very important to remember that what matters is one patient at a time or one client at a time, and really doing an amazing job with each client, like really nurturing that client and treating them like they're very special, because each of those clients is going to become 10 and 20 and 100 clients. And I think sometimes when people start out, they just try to bust out and get big too fast, and that can kind of hurt you, because then you're not really focusing on the person that you're treating or working with. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And speaking more about that more specifically, what are some specific steps that you could take when you first start a business in the healthcare industry?
Well, it's funny because when I first started coaching, I wasn't a web savvy person or anything, and they told us the most important thing was a website. And I was like, what? I thought it was just to be the best coach. And so, having a internet presence is huge. I mean, you really obviously have to have a really good internet presence. And when you set up your website, you need to make sure that you're looking at it from your client's experience. What is it about this experience when they come to the website where you're only going to get a few seconds? Why do you seem different? Why is this going to pull them in faster, and keep them locked into what you do that's special? So think of those things and really try to communicate them quickly in your website, and at least open the door. Find ways to open that door.
And how do you utilize social media to leverage your authority within the health industry?
I think the most important thing is when people kind of have authenticity detectors with social media. So if you just throw out a bunch of things that are really generic, you won't do as well as if you're authentically responding to people and having that caring voice. It takes more time, and sometimes you can have an assistant or somebody who really understands your business and can help you with it. But the responses have to be really genuine, authentic. Your posts have to be really, same thing, very much about you, your unique way of doing things, whatever that is.
And how much would you say that your personality plays into, say, marketing your brand through healthcare?
Oh, I think your personality is huge, because, people connect to people. And there have been a lot of studies about the likability factor. People have to like you to want to do business with you. It doesn't matter. If you're the greatest physician or greatest practitioner in the world, if you don't have that likability factor, if you can't connect to people from the heart, then it's very difficult to build and grow your practice. So I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. And Crystal, you're at a very high level of success currently, but I'm sure you didn't start off that way. What were some struggles that you came across along the way to get you to where you're at today? And how did you overcome those?
Leveraging myself. I think that's always the most difficult thing when you're a practitioner. There's only one of you, So as you start expanding, you do have to find people that you can trust and work with, but make sure, you might go through a few people before you get someone who shares that same vision and same heart for what you do, so that, you can duplicate yourself a little bit and have more clients, and make sure the satisfaction level stays high.
Yeah. And what are some specific strategies for building good teamwork among your employees or among your assistants?
I think regularly communicating with your teammates and your staff or whoever they are. Don't just assume that they can read your mind and what you expect. And we all do that. We get busy sometimes. The best thing is, like, Mark and I try to do this, my husband and I. We sit down with our teammates and we tell them, once a week, everything we're doing, because, even though their job is over here or over here, we want them to know where our heart is and the whole circle of our influence. And then we invite them. We want their feedback. We want their questions. We want them to treat it like it's their business too.
Yeah,
and so the more you engage, the better you'll do that.
That's incredible. And actually, Dwyer Hansen, her husband, today was speaking in Milan and was talking about the concept of being an intrapreneur, encouraging your team to be intrapreneurs within your business to help leverage their presence within the business. And I found that very intriguing as well.
Yeah, very important concept, because I think people get so much more satisfaction when any of us treat it like it's our own baby, like this is something we're passionate. And if you do that, if you approach that, if you're working for someone else and you take that approach, eventually you might start your own business. But if you just show up to do a job, it doesn't have any meaning.
And Crystal, what was your light bulb moment that took you from real estate into healthcare?
I just found myself, like, as I was selling homes and properties, people would open up to me so much personally. And I'd start talking to them and helping them with their issues. I don't know why they trusted me so much, but sometimes they'd be like, can you write that down for me? I don't know how to do what you just said, or I don't know how to say what you just told me. And so I was doing like little life plans and things for people, and I loved it. It's really my zone. Like, I feel like when I'm with someone, I can sort of see through their pain, and I can see like a very clear pathway to helping them resolve it. And it doesn't ever involve hurting someone else or dismissing someone else. It's all about changing something inside.
That's incredible. The inside-out transformations are what makes it all worth it.
Yep, that's how it works, right?
Yeah. And so where do you see the future of healthcare going? In terms of wellness and preventative healthcare, which we're so interested in, where do you see the future of that?
I think it's becoming bigger and bigger. I think Europe has always been a little more open to alternative therapies. It's really nice for us in the United States now, because we're starting to get more of that integrative medicine. I think it's coming to that. I think it's going to get bigger and bigger all the time, because chemical management of illness just doesn't work, and it really isn't speaking to the whole person. So I think it'll become much more wholeness oriented in the future. It's just going to get bigger and bigger, which is exciting for us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And with that, and speaking in terms of the future, a lot of doctors are going in the way of digitization.
Yes.
So one to many. What's a way, as a wellness and lifestyle coach, that you can help more people via online presence and online business?
It's really an important question, because it's that whole thing of how do you leverage yourself and your skills and your talents so you can reach more people.
Exactly.
And so what I did as a life coach and hypnotherapist, I created some of the typical, there are some universal problems that people have. And so if you can tap into that set of universal issues that people come to you for, and then do a set of audios or videos. In my case, it was, hypnotherapy for like anxiety, depression, weight loss issues, starting over.
Yeah.
Those are all things that are going to happen to everybody throughout a lifetime many times. And in the case of, chiropractors, practitioners, there are certain injuries or certain ways that you take care of yourself that are pretty universal, that would be so beneficial for everyone to know and everybody to have, right? That set of videos or audios, and then update them and personalize them and just things like that.
Can you tell us a little bit more specifically about the programs that you do, as well as your websites?
Yes, well, I have a bunch of different audio programs. So, for just self-improvement, anxiety, depression, like I was saying, weight loss. But one of the things that I specifically started focusing on, all those things, my general work is at crystalvisionlife.com. So you can find all of those there.
And
take
we'll
it
link to that too with this interview as well.
Yeah. So you can find all those there. But I was really particularly interested in the weight issue because in the United States it's a serious problem.
Yes.
We spend like $63 billion on diets and weight loss, and people are heavier than ever. Diabetes is off the charts, and obesity and weight issues are related to every major disease, including cancer. So I thought this is really an important issue. So I created a company called skinnylife.com, and it's all an online digital program. It includes hypnotherapy, coaching, lots of tips and tricks on just quick burns and moves. The problem with so many people is they don't have time. They can't do an hour or 2 hours a day. Their lives are so full already. So I show them, if you have 10 minutes, break it down, let's do this, some power moves. And just eating right, understanding how your body works. People don't understand, what happens inside their body. Once you shove that piece of food in your body, there's something completely different that happens depending on what type of food, and it's not just calories.
Yeah.
So I've written a book that's being released next spring called Skinny Life. So watch for that. And I'm really excited about this book because it really tells the whole story, but the program is just very supportive. And the most important thing about the Skinny Life program is that it gets past all the self-sabotage.
Yes.
Because most of what I was seeing with my clients is, they know they're supposed to eat right, they know they're supposed to exercise. Why don't they do it?
Yeah.
Why don't we do what's right for us? Why don't we love ourselves enough? Why don't we honor ourselves enough to do what's right for us? So
yes.
It's a really powerful program that way. People are having amazing results with it.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I can say through my experience with bodybuilding that I like to say that bodybuilding competitions are about 90% mental, 10% physical. Because if you can take your mind there, you can get yourself to the gym and you can get those results that you're looking for.
I love that. I love that you're saying that because it's so true. And I say you can't have a skinny body until you have a skinny mind. And so everything starts in the mind. The 3 components of Skinny Life are mind first, then eat, then move. Mind, eat, move. And I don't ever say diet. Diet's a bad word. Diets don't work. So it's just about...
And they have an expiration date. It's
Exactly.
a lifestyle.
Yes. And people plan around events in their life. They go on a diet, and then they just gain the weight back.
Yeah.
Instead of understanding that it's a journey, it's a lifestyle to support your best health, honor yourself, honor this body. It's the only one you're going to get. So it's a really empowering program.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's move into the lightning round. I'm going to ask you a couple of quick questions. Just let me know the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Okay.
And the first question is going to be, besides the books that you've already mentioned, in terms of business, what book would you recommend to the audience?
Oh gosh, in terms of business, 1 Minute Millionaire.
Yeah, very nice.
Let's see, a guy I know wrote that.
Perfect.
No, I do love that though, because it really tells the story. It's a fiction and nonfiction that tells the story of a real woman really needing to make money quickly, and how, when you change your mindset and decide to, how she did it in the practical sense.
Yeah.
So I think it's really helpful, especially for new business owners.
Perfect. And that leads me into my next question. As a woman, what unique opportunities do you feel that you have as an entrepreneur?
I love, I know some women feel like it's difficult for women, and it has been. I mean, I think we've had a longer climb to get where we are, but I love that we can bring so much to the table in terms of intuitively understanding our clients and intuitively understanding a lot of things. Women are very intuitive and kind of bring that nurturing side, but women can also be very, very strong.
Absolutely.
And decisive. So I think it's a good thing we have going on, right?
Yes, absolutely. And Crystal, what's the best advice you've ever heard?
The best advice.
Put you on the spot a little bit.
Yeah. The best advice I've ever heard. That change can only happen from within.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not happening outside. It's only happening inside, for sure.
Perfect. And just, if you could end with a parting piece of guidance to help our listeners improve from within, what would be your parting piece of guidance?
I would say recognize that all of those negative feelings or thoughts you have about yourself that shut you down all the time, those are just part of your primitive brain, and you really need to learn to shut those down. You really just need to turn them off and understand that's just kind of a primitive structure in our brain that keeps us safe, because we always had to be aware of change, change on the horizon. If you can shut those down and understand it's just a default mechanism, it's not real, and that you literally can do anything you want to in this life. You have, I mean, as a human being, as a woman, you can do, and a man too, but we can do anything we want. And so quiet those negative voices and just determine that this is what I want, this is who I am, and I'm going to keep going until I get there.
Absolutely.
No matter how long it takes.
Crystal, I can't thank you enough for your time today.
Oh, you're so welcome.
If you could just tell us, where can we connect with you on Facebook, Twitter, your website?
Right, so Facebook, I'm Crystal Dwyer Hansen, Hansen, Crystal Crystal, and Dwyer is Dwyer, and then Hansen, Hansen. Enjoy my fan page. I'd love to hear from you. You can go to crystalvisionlife.com. That's my regular website. And then the weight loss website that I've created recently is skinnylife.com. Skinnylife.com. So love to see you there. And thank you, Krista. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Crystal. We appreciate it. It's an honor. Thank you.